Yo, how is everybody? We're back. I'm just starting up Blender. First, industry compatible. Here we go. Thing that makes everyone angry. Perfect. Oh wait, should we just load settings? Try that. This is quaint. Oh, Mr. Fisher. That's fine. Excited. Everyone else is also excited. Blender. So yeah, I want to jump, I think, straight into trees, maybe? Just to see, maybe we'll start some new nodes. Hmm. So, we need UVs. How do we get UVs? It's still named attribute. Might not. Come on, the info now. Not in the info. Is it? Hey, Atlas. Reading what's new? Nice. I will ask you about that. But I thought I saw them talking about what they were going to do with this. I thought they moved it from a named attribute to something that was going to be. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I should check it out too. Blender 3.5 GeoNode UV. Just want to get a shortcut. If I can. Maybe on app node. Where's Craggy? Craggy's always watching the what's it called? Daily something? Daily blend? Yeah, let's look into named attribute. Click on name. Okay, so it has a UV map. Because I UV map? I have UV before. Make sure that it's not like from thing. So does this just now? Oh, it's glued over there. A vector. Is it a vector 2? I don't know, and I can't find out. Waiting for an overambitious bake to finish. Ooh, that's exciting. So wait, where do we get the UV? Outputs, attribute. I don't really know what that one is. I'd like to know. It's gonna come out in that one. And then here, interesting. Okay. Man, I really have to shake the dust off. Like, feels like a million years. Say it, over ambitious bake. Does that mean that you have the there? I won't have my expectations too high, but baking could be anything. Alright, so this we apply the GeoNodes. Oh, this is me trying to repackage stuff. But it's off, so we can ignore that. I think we just apply this. Right? And then we have all these maps. Oh, it's one of the things, can we set these to BEV maps before we get so like modifiers, we have output. I can't set them to vector 2s. Alright, I'm confused. What changed? How did this help us? You're going to just double the resolution, but then you decided to do it twice? 4 times the resolution. Perfect. Save this as 3.5. I'm probably going to do a lot of dumb stuff. Trying to figure out how to do smart stuff. I thought they said they were putting in a vector 2 type. Okay, fine. Fine, we'll check out a what's new. Maybe it'll be a good one, unlike the 200 bakes before. That's a lot of copium right there. No offense, but yeah, it's a lot of copium. Oh, and we might touch physics. Physics nodes. That could be exciting. Let's see, what is different? Doesn't exist. That's cool. Blur could be nice. Now store 2D vector attributes. And these, I think, have been named yet again. Use attribute toggles? What? Move to nodes operator creates a new node group wrapping the modifiers group. I think I like that. I can imagine something with that description being something that I've requested. Can you output a UV? Okay. Oh, so wait. One thing that might be different. Where do I do leaves? Leaves? Oh, do we have a leaf input? Let's see. Good to have. It's gonna be kind of later on. Mesh circle? Isn't this a primitive? Is this some cruel joke? Where are my UVs? They specifically. Alright, wait, maybe I'm reading this wrong. Mesh. Or mesh objects. No, not. The mesh primitive nodes now output a UV map. I'm expecting, and that's probably where it's wrong, a pin. Mesh circle should have mesh and then UVs. Where it at, yo? There's nothing called a primitive, so your name is wonderful. Oh, so just some of them. Man, do I hate Blender. Every time. This is supposed to save us, but mesh circle, which is infinitely more useful than cube. Stupid cube. No UVs, UVs. No UVs, UVs. What is the deal? There's no plane. Good, cool, love it. Guess could I just store a UV map? I don't know. This feels soft. Man, how jank would it be to use a cube and delete like all the faces but one to get our plane with a UV map? Okay, you know what? I feel duped. Very, very duped. Is there anything else actually useful here? We're gonna try blur. Let's do brand new scene. Don't save that. Delete that. Geometry nodes. Add. Cube. And then geometry nodes. Node thing. And then do we have the blur? Let's start with the vector. Okay, good. So position. I don't see a select. I was like really hoping there would be a select. Everything just gets rounder. Unless weight, can weight have a select in it? We'll try it. Position, then we do a at position. For the new position. Is there a subdivide? Okay. Little sanity check. Yeah, alright. So it does a little erode for us. I can dig that. This is good. Oh, I think, unless it's actually just averaging everything, meaning it goes to center. And if we like moved this off, or like move it away from its pivot even, everything would be cattywampus. Just get closer to that point. Like that's gonna get expensive. Oh, you know, that's not too bad. It could be worse. Okay, now can we mask? Let's look for edge vertices. And we'll have to do some comparing. And some, I guess we have positions. So separate. Is there something better than edge vertices? This, we need a value. Right now I'm just going to do a height based. So 2 in here. I will still keep uniform. The integer equals, I think, and I'll compare these two. I think we want or though. I also do math. This plus this. And this could be greater than. There's a bool node too. Oh, for like cutting things out? Boolean math. Boolean and mesh Boolean. Why so many things? Okay, so that's interesting. Value. Boolean math. Oh. I mean, you could do that. But they're also, 0 or 1, right? So you add them together, and if they're greater than like 0.5. Greater than or equal to 1. Then that's an OR. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, this is nice. Is that new? Or have I been ignoring it the whole time? Good chance I was ignoring it the whole time. That sounds like. Oh, I'm in C. Of course, that's my problem. Always my. Hmm. I'm intrigued. I mean, okay. It's definitely something. I like having it in the arsenal. Oh, I should also check to see if we can put this in here. Okay, so yeah, you can select either. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Blur, integer, this. Oh, I love this. Oh, please work. And then we put the blur into the weight of the blur. Uh-huh. And then we get the fillet. Now that's fancy. Or not. Do you do anything? Maybe that doesn't work the way I wanted it to. It's taking an integer, but this is the point where I almost want it to be cast to a float. Just so we can blur it and then cast it back. Oh, it worked. Oh, all my dreams are coming true. Zombie, hey, how are you? You blur it as a float? You can. You can. If we turn this down, turn down like how much fall off that has. It's cool. We can play with this on like statues and stuff to get like a more realistic crunch. So we can both wear away the high points. We can also maybe use this as a selection for where to apply like noise. So we can get like real chunky bits. Could be cool. I like it. It's so good. So good. We can wear a whole statue away. We can choose what age in a culture's artistic representation that a specific statue is being shown. I'm smitten between this and Boole. Like, okay, GeoNodes has a serious future. So, Zombie, what are you up to? Got anything cool going on? And also, how did you like Diablo 4? I don't think we got to talk about that at all. Okay. I guess if we got angle, we could just get the highest point and get down to a roundness. I don't know. This is save as. Erode. Cool. One test done. Craigie's not even here to see it. Craigie's been talking about that node forever. Okay. New. General. Let's see what they got for the, the simulation crap. What am I gonna need for this? We'll create a cube for giggles. It was fun. Weekend was fun at least. Not $100 worth buying the full game when it will be released. It's fair. I had more fun than I expected, and then I lost interest as soon as it got really open worldy. And I'm like, wait a second, I can't just like stumble into the place I need to go. I actually need to concentrate. Need to figure out which of these lanes in this blobby map I need to get to. Well, I've played a lot longer than I did, actually. I played around 10 to 12 hours. That's not bad. We only played maybe 3 or 4. Maybe. Balancing's way off, yes. I feel like the druid is going to have a lot of problems, and that the necromancer is just easy mode. It's not great, but it is what it is. Normal vector multiply. Can I scale? Want you in scale down. Boolean. Oh, and then we want to. Okay, now we have something to put water in. Mobs way too easy. Class is not really balanced. Necro was totally unfair, yes. And also showed that it really is them trying to steer Diablo 3, all the assets and all of the code that they have for Diablo 3 into, Diablo 4. Skeletons glowed like they were from Torchlight. Other guy played a Necro. You started a Rogue, but switched to Mage. Loot was very disappointing. Yes, it is exactly like the Diablo 3 system. And it seems like they're like, okay, well you got a boss killed, you definitely get a legendary now. Go to the chest and get your legendary. It could be any legendary, but we're gonna put a class specific thing on it just for you. It's like a mob scaling is bad also. I don't know if we experienced mob scaling. Well, yeah, maybe difficulty over the thing was kind of rough. I definitely got with my necromancer to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, everything's really easy, and all of a sudden one enemy with one attack killed all of my skellies. And all of a sudden I was dying. I don't think I ever really died, but it was like, okay, we went from like a piece of cake, which is how much of a piece of cake? You can start off summoning 4 skeletons. 3 of the skeletons would ignore every enemy, and 1 skeleton would kill everything. Like, easy, like a hot knife through butter. Amazing. Move aside, move aside. Krogi's here. Now we can begin. No loitering. Make some space. Hey, Krogi, how are you? How are you enjoying the wonders of Blender 3.5? I'm having mixed results so far. You just missed the erode test. Maybe I will open that just to show that. So we have cube, and we have how high to ignore the erosion, and then we're eroding that height and putting it into a positional blur and get like how much the erode works. And change the height working. Or like shielded at the bottom, I guess. And then like how fall off it is. Yeah, erode test, total success. I guess I could probably make. But it's good, I like it. And now I think I'm gonna dive into simulation. I tried the UV stuff, and I actually didn't see a like hugely positive change. What I did notice was, like they said, there's a primitive. There's at least a primitive. I'm modifying what they say actually. A primitive that will give you a UV map when you create it. But the most important one, mesh circle, right? It's also a primitive. I would think it's primitive. It gets nothing. There is no UV map for this whatsoever. What? Hello? I use this a lot. I use this more than most things. Hello? Does the curve to mesh? Curve to mesh doesn't either. Like, guys, get your act together? What a half-assed update. So yeah, that's gone. They said that they were gonna have a like vector output. Here we go. Be like, okay, I want an output that's definitely gonna be a UV map. It's like, wait, but where's the vector 2? You can have a vector. Where's the vector 2? I thought there was gonna be something more dedicated to handling the UV maps. And no, they just put in the one thing that lets you output just on cube and maybe a sphere? Okay, yeah, UV sphere has it. Icona? ISO? Is it Iconosphere? That has a map. I don't know. It's a spotty update is what I'm gonna say. Your water splash just exploded? Of course, the forces have to react completely differently with different sim resolution. I mean, yeah, they technically do. It's a mesh circle. I don't want to get pedantic, but it is literally a mesh circle. Like if it was just a circle, curved circle, I agree. No UVs needed. Mesh circle? Like you literally bring it down to 4 and it should just be a face, but the face has no verts. Like I then need this to be unwrapped. Sort of, but then it's not just like, oh yeah, plug this in and get out a UV map. It's like, okay, wait a second. We need to store this on the mesh again. Store a named attribute so we can put the UV, and this is gonna probably undo, right? Because crappy, yep. Value, there you go. And then there, and then on every point, we'll put the vector, name it UV map. Like I still have to do this. They pretended that this was a solved problem. And where did they put it? Because it's so elegant how they wrote it. For mesh object, no, wait, I always do that one. The mesh primitive nodes. The mesh primitive nodes. Not some. Not select. The. Like all of them. Now output a UV map. That's a lie. Previously stored. And now we still have to do that. It still feels like we're doing that. Because again, when we set up our outputs for thing in a node group, like there is no dedicated vector2. I have to name my own UV map. VMap1. Oh yeah, and then I need to plug this. Wait, it's just stored? Stored, or do I have to put it there? I think I have to store it and put it there, and the geometry has to be here. Fill type. Triangles, please. I'm being uber pedantic. I mean, yeah, literally. I'm trying a new build, and I'm trying to like find all the problems, and it's not hard to find problems. Like I'm stumbling over them walking in the front door. It says point, and I mean it has this. Do I put a point on a point? Wait, do you mean this? Or do you mean this? Because this is where it's storing the output, not what type of output it is. So yeah, again, we can be super pedantic. Yeah, let's go back and forth. The things they said they were going to do don't seem to super be there. They seem to be like kind of there. They intended them to kind of like work, but how? How do? Output attributes. Cool, UV map. I still have to set this myself. And then I can't set this to be like a UV map. Like we're still gonna need our button that we're creating to actually tell it what it's supposed to be. And then we'll get our attributes. This will come out of this, right? And then we'll need to add a new attribute based on that. Or no, it gets pushed from the output attributes. But I don't see how we actually set this up differently in 3.5, which was kind of the hope. Asking and trying to understand. I feel like you understood this pretty much on par with me. That was my assumption. I'm sorry for assuming. But yeah, I think we're still gonna end up having some UV problems. Maybe in code, this is a little bit more exposed, but in nodes, it's still kind of like, so I may leave that to you, good sir. Hand you the ball. Do you think with 3.5 we can fix the output problems? I feel like some of it is like, I think I settled on, I could type out, just like I did here, all of the UVs that I need. But we need to be able to find vector 2s in the attributes to then convert to UV maps. And I still don't know that there's a good way to be like, oh, this is definitely it, unless we just make sure it's named correctly. Might not be a problem. Then yeah, the conversion I think was an issue. We'll figure it out. We have to dust that stuff off. But for now I want to just see something that might work. So I want to just play with the sim. What kind of simulation can we do? If I type in sim, I see nothing. Okay. So node updates, node up, cloth sim. How do you do cloth sim in the nodes? Do we just type a cloth? No. Physics? No. Add. I just sworn I saw something that said that they were including. Maybe I'm crazy. One of those things where there's just too much Blender info swimming around. Air. I should try this at some point. See if I have the same problems Cryogy does. Okay, so wait, if there's no simulation, why is cloth simulation listed here? Any ideas? Oh, and this is the port storing 2D vectors. So we now have a property for float 2. Okay. Literally just looks like they put float 2 support, so that way you can get the incoming meshes maybe. Great. Why do I feel like cloth simulation just got mislabeled in nodes? Or I guess it's nodes slash physics? Why did they put those two together? Mm-hmm. Every time, Blender. There's no sim node in this release. Oh, I saw it was somewhere. Okay. Fair enough. Well, alright. So is that like it? Was I waiting all this time for like hopes and dreams and a lot of smoke being blown up? Problems? Problem hole? Oh, this is kind of cool, though I'm not going to use it anytime soon. Adding F-curve modifiers to multiple channels is now easier to access. That's cool. That's very cool. Oh, wait. This is a weird spot, the difference. This? Old everything, new one less. Oh, let me play it. You mean you fixed a bug where that should never happen ever? Oh my, that's horrifying. Blender, never show this as an improvement again. I want to close Blender forever now and just be like, if this is an improvement that they need to show video proof, I'm done. I'm done with Blender. What a horse. What a poor choice of things to mention that they're updating. This doesn't feel like a real update. Like I'm glad that it's slightly less broken in some minor places. I'm deflated. The erode was cool, but I don't actually have like a use for that right now. And I also feel like to get full use out of that, I would want to have baking, like texture baking, and I feel like that's also scuffed. So what do we do? What am I even doing here? Maybe by Blender 4.0, we'll have stuff that functions. Mostly a hair update. Why do I feel like I didn't see anything about hair? Okay, fine. Let's see. Which one's hair? Are you an add-on? Are you a sculpt? Are you a pipeline asset? Yes. But it important. It gets its own page. Okay, but is hair just un-UV'd? It can't be. Your hair needs to be UV'd. Why does your UV system still kind of suck? Uh, I mean, okay, it looks like Maya's system. Except that they keep using the grease pencil everywhere. Do you need the grease pencil? Because it's kind of confusing. It makes it look like, cartoony marketing material instead of like a real. Again, probably because I don't use it. Yeah, like, oh, fun. Tell us what you intended to do before you do it, and then find the situation where it works kind of that way. Great. Like this, it would be nice if you showed me a surface. This at least has a surface. This has a surface. This is like, where are you growing it out of? Is there an invisible mesh here? Is this how the brush is gonna look? Marketing bullshit. Patch hair to surface. I mean, cool. The sad thing is I wanted to do some of this stuff just with the nodes. Just I thought it would be a cool project to do, and now it's like, well, I can't do it. I think they did it. They like did the fun part. And now I'm just gonna get like hardcore guilt tripped. Like, why would you ever do that when you can just use hair nodes for everything? Yeah, good, good, I guess. Cool. All right, so are you gonna put hair on here? Those are node groups. Okay, yeah. So, like, they're just making fancy node groups. I feel like we need better base functionality and or modifier conversion, what have you. Oh, that's vector maps. So in the hair, in the hashtag hair, right at the end, you shove in vector displacement. Like, it's cool that you can do it, but stay on topic, please. And now Compositor. Compositor seems cool. I should look into that more. Oh, I love these. Oh, look at that light model. Oh, it's so pretty. Hmm. Kind of cool, but unfortunately, like, I don't know that it actually helps me in situations. Bye. BDM is new. I mean, that's cool. It's not really a style that I usually like doing. So that again is kind of hitting on like an area that's not for me. I'm not really going to show that off. I don't tend to like, just I don't know. I guess it's okay if you want to do a lot of sculpting on flats uh, to make things. It'd be cool, but it's a whole workflow I'd need to get into. And then again, I don't feel like things you make in Blender can like be taken out very easily. Because baking is still scuffed and they have no, I don't know, questionable intentions over whether they're actually going to do it. Blender developers listening and thinking, wow, okay, I failed. Think I'll become a greengrocer now. Good. Good. I mean, if that's something you want to do, go for it. Like, I don't know. This is cool, good feature. This is for some people. Some people use this all the time. Very ZBrush workflow. You can kind of do it in Mudbox too. I mean, you can do it in Mudbox. I just don't. Again, I like getting everything sitting. If I did this, I just feel like everything would be too cookie cutter. Either that, or I'm just like building libraries and noses, but not. I don't know. Whatever. Well, Cryogi, how are you feeling about 3.5? Are you totally jazzed about it? Is this everything that you dreamed of? Because I'm thinking like, what's 3D code like? I'm really curious. That's gonna go up in price in like 12, 13 days? Why do I put myself through this horror? Give up and stay with Mudbox, Maya. Blender's not for you. The nodes would be for me, but they just like keep getting fixed so incrementally that it's gonna probably take over a year for it to be a fully functioning system. But then again, I don't know. Maybe you could help me, Krogi. Maybe you could. Maybe if that tool that we're working on has like a path to succeed, then I would have a reason to use Blender. But like, I feel like I just hit another dead end. So yeah, I don't know. Why do I put myself through this horror? I'd like to use a cool tool. I like to broaden my horizons. This is probably the most painful horizon for me to try to ride into. Well, alright, kind of trying to consider what to do. Because yeah, I think Blender is not for me. It's just like constantly below expectations. Even when you think that you can do something, it's like, no, they didn't fully implement that. They did up to a point. Now I just have to wait for them to either fix it or nothing. Again, yeah, use something different. Thunder has nodes. Houdini was heard chuckling somewhere in the distance. I mean, I hear Houdini is not. Well, it's had more years in development. I'll put it that way. So I'm sure that it has been lambasted quite a few times by quite a few people for quite a few things, and hopefully it is cleaned up. But the nodes here, I mean, we're only a few years old, right? They do still need to improve quite a bit. I'm just miffed by the UV stuff. It feels like integral. Like, why would you give anyone the power to make 3D things without attaching UVs to them? I don't know. Do you need to rework the nodes with new nodes for our scripts to access? I don't think so. I think one of the problems is that when we were working on the scripts, all of the scripts we tried to write couldn't see the original UV maps, I think. But it could also be this thing where we're trying to get stored things, but there is no, like, get stored attribute named, is it named or is it stored named? That is to store, not the stored one. Okay, sure. It's this can do a vector, it can't do a point. Yeah, I don't know. We might still be at that roadblock, actually. Like, we have this, that's promising. I might still be constantly cock-blocked by this mesh circle. But maybe just outputting this, it's going to be enough. Oh. Geometry node there. And do I still have to put the UV map out here? It's stored on the mesh. I don't know. It's been a little bit too long. I don't fully remember our situation. Each of us had two halves of a magical amulet that brought together would figure out the roadblock. You like the new splash screen? Me too. It's really warm and cozy. Depends on the price tag. The number, the higher the pedestal. And yeah, let's Yeah. No, I am interested in 3D Coat. We'll probably pick that up tomorrow and do some experimentation with that sculpting system. Because I've been complaining about Mudbox too. There's no software that's safe from my complaints. Just in case anyone was wondering if they could tell me a secret that it would unlock all my life. Like, I don't think that's there. Sorry. So wait, can I just make this hairy now? Generation. Generate hair curves. Here a surface. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Okay, so we can get a hairy box. That's a thing. Here, and then Do we just need to like modify stuff? Frizz. You shall be frizzy hair. I love it. Love it. Very good. Cooking now. It's actually Catalyst. What do you mean exactly? Was that based off the 3D coat reference, or the fact that, like, you know, Blender is free? Big quotes on free, because everything people tend to use professionally or with good results seems to be paid, or several paid apps. Okay, we got her. I like this one. It's a one big loop. It's a good one. Also, 3D Code. 3D Code's been around forever. I don't know how they've survived this long. Really encouraging. And they've been able to do so many things for so long. And now it seems like they've gotten a real bump. Their demo reel's looking quite spiffy these days. And I'm gonna be suckered away, I know it. But we'll see. We'll pick it up tomorrow. For now, I have little to no direction. Can this go to hair cards? Or does it just have to be curves? It'd be like a nap curves. Get the resting angle of the follicle. Oh, maybe that's the create guide index map. Okay, what does clump look? Let's clump after we frizz. Doesn't like that. Clump before frizz. Um, oh, that's kind of interesting. Hmm. One single clump. Hmm. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Hmm. Hmm. What else can we? How do we control things? Can we smooth it? Smooth after frizz? It's nothing. Seaweed? Oh, you can do a mask texture. That's kind of cool. Context Houdini. Ah, yeah, that's fair. But also, whatever industry standard software suite that a company would have paid more for than a complaining employee would cost them. That's an interesting way to put it. Yeah, companies less about the arms and legs and more about the expendable peoples. Oh, I'm horrified. But yeah, that could be fair. Companies throwing money at Houdini to suck less. Oh, preserve length, of course. Now it's perfect. So if I render this, rendering. Why do I always think rendering is going to do something? Shading. Pop over to here. And toggle on cycles. Watch it explode. Wait, Craigie, did you use the new error curve nodes? That how you blew up your computer? Yeah, I don't know. I've heard Houdini is soul crushing. I've yet to have my soul completely crushed. Just willing to go other places. Hello? GPU. Go. Why is there no background? I thought Cycles always had a default uh, HDMI or HDRI. Thunder 3.5 is out for a few hours. Craigie, you've mentioned a few times that it's only been in this release state on Steam for a few hours. 3.5 itself has been accessible for at least 2 weeks. The 2 weeks I've been complaining about it, you know, being out but not actually being out. How about that? Did you try it then? Oh, I like the ghosting on the box. That's cool. Oh, jiggle. Free jiggle. I'll take it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Is there a good how do you groom these? Add hair deformation. And I don't see it. I know it's there. The thing you linked definitely showed someone moving it around. Interpolate hair curve? I think interpolate was the one that they brushed. I have a braid. I wonder if I can use that for meshes. Probably can. I'm gonna try and make a braid thing. I might still. I don't know if I'm totally sold on this system yet. Okay, so some kind of cool things. So like we can select by curve tip or root. Maybe. No, it has no properties. This is a selection of all root points. Okay, so it will be a bool for just that. And then you can blur it. So you can blur the root and get, you know, a fall off all the way from root to tip. It's kind of cool. Hmm. Hmm. Where can I actually mask some of these things, like frizz? I don't see a selection on them. Unless I can use a selection and multiply it by a factor. Let's try that, I guess. Add hair breed to root and blur. Oh, I need that multiplied. Math, come to my rescue. We have to. Just one. Yeah, kinda. Hmm. Yeah, it's keeping the tips kind of close to where they should be. And then everything else is kind of growing out. Sort of a success, somewhat. Guess if you like pin something at the endpoints, it could be kind of a cool effect to have everything glued between the 2 points. Pause everything in between. I don't know, there's some stuff you could do, I guess. So like, how do you get things out of Blender? I need Integer, we can root index at 0. We can blur that. Multiply between that and this. Is that pretty much? Okay, maybe that's just the limitations. No, this doesn't do anything. Can't cast this one to a flip. Oh, we can grab a couple, I guess. Blur does nothing. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, can we then extrude things over these curves? Catalyst, is that what you were up to? It's a curve info, and maybe you have an index input? No. You can do it for all of them, and you have a curve input. Do like a compare. I guess if you have a set of instances with the same number of curves, you can like use a curve index as the sampling point for which mesh you're going to start manipulating, mesh islands. I was just wondering how you were doing your hair stuff. That was GeoNodes, right? Were you using the curve info to get each curve of the hair system to manipulate the geometry? Hmm. I'm very uninspired by this. I expected some UV improvements I'd be able to touch on. I just don't quite see those. Hmm. I don't know. I don't have a plan. I waited so long for this. Hmm. Very uninspired by hair. And maybe if I didn't do hair recently. I literally just got hair done in Maya. I'm much more enthused by this. Here I am thinking this update was going to be completely different. Very different direction than it turned out. So, do. What does a danger do in this? Curves themselves, can you make them like thicker? You're taking a curve by index. Okay, so kind of like this, but then probably like you have instances. Are you doing? Right, so if you had all the instances, right, you do instance on points, then you have instances coming out. Put that into set position. And then the selection is the sample. Sample UV surface. I put sample in, I feel like I got more results than when I put UV in. Oh, maybe I'm crazy. UV just gets used all the time. Very distracting. Source UV map. And UV map, that's vector 2s. And I sample the UV. Why do you get a three-dimensional? That's confusing. Then what value would UV is valid? Does that mean if it's on a UV or not on a UV? And the value of What? Sampling along it, sample curve. Are you also doing instances, or are you doing that for each read? Some of these nodes just pass through a value socket. Oh, yeah. I guess so. What is the value? The value could be just anything. There's already like there's a texture sample, right? You could do image texture, and you could use the same thing you would have plugged in value vector. So the same thing you'd plug into here, you could plug into here. And then this gives you something that you know how to work with. And this gives you like what? Because this even tells you like what map we're going to sample based on that position. Is valid is kind of interesting. Like, okay, sure. So if we're going to like test whether, still a little confused about that one. Sampling okay, you could sample a position and tell if it's inside of the shell or not. I don't know. Because I can also separate the color, and then I have all of this data coming in. Curve. Index, and then like I need all the curves. And factor. Factor? Do we have like a length? You have a curve deform group that takes mesh and a curve. One of the built-in ones? Now I'm just curious. Nothing else would be working. Or is that just something you made? Deform curves on surface? Can't see anything else that is deform. Outer group does instancing and passes realized geometry and a curve index. Oh, so each one you're going to store a curve index. Interesting. Focus is too low for this. So thrown off my game today. You ever expect to do one thing and that one thing is not what you're going to be working on? So there's also a brief flash, right? Checking this part of the hair stitch out. So you have interpolated hair curves, sure. Then they flash really quickly that there's a tool they're using in the 3D editor, which allows them to actually touch things, but they like gloss over it. They don't actually want to show you how to touch things. There it is again. What is it? Just take a second to show me what the tool is. Yep, okay. Go as quickly as you can, you horrible frickin' developers. So useful. So absolutely. See, I can't right click. I'm sure there's just a magic button for it, right? Magic, is it pie? Do I need the pie menu? Not that I want to. I guess I could poke another add-on if I need to. The hair tools haven't changed? Well, I've never used the hair tools. I've only heard Cryogi saying that they are including a bug that everyone knows about that isn't being solved. And I was like, oh, okay, so they're broken, like other things in Blender. We ignore those. Oh, just sculpt mode. Pull down menu thing. Yeah, right? Sculpt mode. Then I'm in curve. Do I have to realize the hairs? I guess I should see manual, right? And do this, which is not what I want. Don't tell me that the other sculpt mode? What other sculpt mode? All right, we go to object. Does this have hairs under it or something? There are no curves. It's still a geometry node group. This is literally showing so here's geonodes not being like applied or converted to anything, and then here's just brushing with hair stuff. Does this just have like a super complicated setup where they already did guide hair nodes and we have an input and we are plugging that in somewhere? Is it this? Is it this? This isn't going to show that. It's going to be blending between two hair systems. Click on the curves, should become selected. Then you can change to then you can change to object mode. Oh, from to sculpt. I know it's me. I know it. I'm doing something wrong. I have to be. I don't. I select the curves. They're part of the output geometry. So, I don't know, do I have to realize this? Or do I need the interpolate? Nope, doesn't like that. Needs a surface. That's the issue. The geonode hair stuff acts half geonode and half curve object. That'd be great if it was a curve object. But like, and I'm sure it is, just like, why can't I touch it? Another layer to the wonderful mode system, Blender. Like, I have like everything checked off. Yeah, just if I want to learn this, maybe I'll just learn time. Add curve, empty hair or fur. On this or select nothing. And then we go to add, back to add, curve, please go down to curve. Empty hair or fur? Okay, I probably have to have this selected then. Oh, an error. Okay, so now I can select this and now I can go into sculpt mode, right? And nope. Did those create guide curves? Okay, and then I can comb. Great. And then I have to go here and do object mode. Hair curve. That's not what I'm looking for at all. Not one bit. Wait a second. Every time I put something into the geometry node group tree, whatever they want to call it, you know, in whatever documentation, it ended up putting a whole new group on instead of continuing to nest. I'm at that explode point. I'm at that let's find someone to raid point. Oh, fur comes stock full of groups. That's great. How do you use the hair nodes then? System. So I did it wrong. Can we undo? Okay, undo, add. curve, empty hair. Then I can select these and go to sculpt mode. Did I have to select those specifically? When I have those specifically selected, it's definitely a no-go. Man, why does nothing work for me? Those are different node trees. Okay, yeah, that's kind of fair. Guess. I mean, fur should just be called like fully loaded, and empty hair should be like, you know, DIY hair or something. Not final names, but better than what we have, I think. Do I select? Do I even select? Just select this and go to sculpt mode. I usually trust you. You are usually a trustworthy person, so I'm gonna have to blame Blender on this. Your hair is in GeoNode's tree on the cube. Yeah, how else? Yes. When I added the fur, it had extra crap. I get that. Still, yeah, if I select curves, I can't necessarily get to edit mode. Or sculpt mode, I guess. Okay, that kind of worked, but why? What was that other color that it was? Oh no, I am deforming the mesh. We're just in this garbage sculpt mode. Grab, which is what I selected before, but it didn't want that. Sculptable hair is on the curve object, plus its GeoNodes. So I could sculpt the hair, and then I need, well, this needs to have hair painted on it, right? How do I do that on an empty hair system? Okay, so do that, and then do this, and then do this, do that, and then back in object mode, in cube, then the interpolation will work. And it's gone. In theory, this should have, like if I'm interpolating, are we interpolating between two hair systems? Where do you put the second hair system in? Any of this? Sculptable hair is on curves object, plus its node trees. Okay, default surface deform group on the curve object glues the curves to the parent object surface. And it needs to have a UV map. Well, I mean, is that a problem? Because I did this wonderful Boolean on something that definitely has a UV map coming out. Gotta be there somewhere. Probably add the custom geonode tree to the curves object, but you're not guaranteeing it will work without some wrenching. I'm just wondering how any of this is supposed to work. Like, I'm actually going to have to watch a whole tutorial walkthrough on what they intended. Because, like, I kind of get, you know, using the nodes to manipulate things, but once again, nodes feels like it doesn't actually have all the inputs it needs to do what it claims that it can. Hmm. Could have sworn I taught something about curve to mesh getting output data, but I don't see that either. I don't know. I don't know how any of it works. Make an object, add hair. Start building geonode stuff on the curves object. Add more hair curve objects. What about like brushing though? That's where we're stuck. Like, yeah, I could make some weird hairs. Cool. We made like the Tool album cover. Cool. But then if I wanted to sculpt it, it looked like they used this. And we might have gotten partially there with having the guide curves. But now I'm just like, what, how do the guide curves feed into the interpolate hair? Could I have multiple curve systems? I would hope I could. So I could, you know, get a couple poses and just like tweak. There's not even like a float. I guess here's interpolation's not even a float. What do? You don't interpolate anything. You're a pile of crap. I don't believe a single word of this. Select hair curves, change to sculpt mode. Let's see. But the interpolate kills everything. Plug this back in. And then we'll select curves, right? I don't, which curves do we select? You say select hair curves, but technically we have, if I select these ones, which are hair curves in the geometry nodes, there. I guess I could assume they're there. And then sculpt node. But these don't relate to the other ones. Right? What about these ones that I created? How do I get a base, you know, groom before we start frizzing shit out? Okay, but like, sorry. Can you interpolate for me what the hell this interpolate curves is supposed to be showing? Is this not interpolate hair curves, and they're using like the geometry based curves, and you can see the little other curves that they put in to interpolate. There is something here, like geonodes are supposed to be sculptable. They're just not like, you know, ready to do that out of the box or something. All of that is happening on the curves object. But what about this? What is this doing? Like at some point you need that to plug into this so this can like make it denser or something? Oh, I see. So move. So on here, you want to add a new geometry node, and you should be geonodes? Is that supposed to be like working? That doesn't do anything. Take frizz out, it doesn't affect those. Should I have been down here on this one? Oh, they look to be pretty much the same. There's some magical requirement going on with this surface deform node. You haven't experimented much with it yet? You don't even show that. It might be necessary, but I'm looking for just interpolate. I think I like generated the hair curves in here. Oh, so I can't generate. That's going to be a problem, right? I can't put in. I need to put it like this. And oh, we don't have a surface anymore. The first and only node in the empty hair geonode group. Fair. That means that, right? Not this. Or is it that this curves needs to go out somewhere? Not that I would know how to directly plug into that. Is that it though? Am I just supposed to drag this into the output? This doesn't have an input curves. But technically the geometry being passed in is the curves. Oh, this. I mean, wait, what good is that? Okay, so I now need to use this. And then this is where we can use the frizz. So is the generate hair curves just like a dud? Just like out in the cold and doesn't actually function? Or like creates broken ass crap that you can't manipulate in 3D space? Like again, some Blender developers spent all their time making this node to generate hair curves, and it doesn't fully integrate with being able to sculpt hair curves. Like someone did the work to maintain two separate yet equally freaking useless systems. I hate it. Haven't tried that yet. Okay, I hope you have better feelings than I do about this. This is just like, okay, great. This seems absolutely useless. Someone spent a lot of time making that, and it wastes, I'm sure, a lot of people time. I'm not the only person that's going to be like, okay, generate hair curves. We're gonna do all hair in nodes, and just like, oh, you can't sculpt anything. And then yeah, some developer made this when instead they could be doing anything else that Blender needs, including not making nodes that confuse the entire system and workflow. Just, I don't know. I don't know. It's been a day. What do I have to say? Well, so we had a road. A road works cool. Blur works so far 75% of the time. There's only one weird selection situation where it wasn't working. Might wrap up. I don't have a lot of direction for this, and I want to have more positive streams. I know that's weird, like Danger. Danger, I'm here because you rant all the time. Maybe you do. You don't care about the ranting. But yeah, I'd rather not burst a blood vessel on just, you know, absent-minded developers being absent-minded. So yeah, we might just do something different tomorrow. This definitely derails my train. Right off the track. Big huge explosion, as I thought we would unlock our tree generator and our tile generator. Yeah, that's not quite the case. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I think I'm going to sign off. I have nothing else that I want to do in this program. And I just need to clear my head, I think. Ever like get excited for something, think, and then the hype train derails really, really hard? Anyway, I hope everyone enjoys Blender 3.5. I'm sure it's going to be really cool for some people. And yeah, if I need to erode any statues, I think we got that on point. It'll be a cool thing. We'll open it a couple times a year for maybe. But yeah, tomorrow we'll either continue a creature or do something else that I've thought of between now and then. Yeah. Thank you all for joining me. I'll dump you on Grimy Badger and find out how his build went over the weekend. I've been too lazy to find out. Maybe a little preoccupied. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining me today. All my lurkers, my chatters, my VOD watchers. I appreciate all of you so much. I hope to see you again tomorrow. If I'm not here tomorrow, life choices are being decided upon. Yeah. Anywho, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you tomorrow. Hope to see me tomorrow. Say hi to Grimy. Bye-bye.